So this was a pretty good episode of Iceblade Sorcerer. This really was exactly what I was expecting, though. That's kind of like the one thing is this falls within expectations based on what happened last week. Last week's episode, we kind of got the carrot dangled that Rebecca is going to be the next girl that needs saving directly after Amelia. I guess if we can kind of really kind of put it together, Elise was the first one that kind of got saving because she was an elf and not accepted, and Ray kind of got her into the mix. Then we can kind of go on to Twin Tails or Twin Pigtails, however you want to say it after that. I forget what her name is, the blonde girl. Then the next thing is Amelia kind of being like the big one that Ray really saved and really was able to kind of hone in on the last like 3 to 4 episodes. And then now we have Rebecca being like the next girl that he's going to save. It seems that that's kind of like the theme of what's happening, which is completely okay. The one thing that I expressed last week that I still kind of feel is it just kind of sucks to kind of get pushed this narrative right at the end of the season. It's like we're going to end on whatever this arc ends up being, and then that's kind of going to be it. We're not really going to get the completion of Ray's first year experience in school or his Icebladeness or whatever is going to come after that. So that's kind of the only downside. But regardless, like I said, this episode, and just kind of putting that to the wayside, just we're kind of like living in is what it is moment. This episode was pretty good. So the major things and my major takeaways for this episode is we found out that Rebecca is being, I don't want to say tracked, but she's being hyper focused on. She's being kind of like the eye of the beholder for this eugenics team or this eugenics people, basically the bad guys of the story. She's being targeted by this specific, what's his name? I think I wrote his name down somewhere. The Eye Collector. So Evan Bradley or something like that. Oh, Evan Bernstein, which is now all of a sudden she's engaged to, and that is her fiance to be. Apparently we found out that he is in fact the sorcerer Eye Collector, basically somebody who's just like a big criminal, big weirdo. He ends up being the person who was behind the gas mask at the beginning of the episode when those 2 criminals were attacking some random person. So he's an eye collector, and his target is Rebecca, but he's not going to steal her eyes, her special eyes that she has at the moment right now. He's going to wait until she transcends and becomes some kind of like spirit or some kind of I don't even know what they call it, but she's going to become something more like a guardian or something, and after that who's probably going to steal the eyes. They need it for some kind of weird experiment or whatever. So we found out all of that, thankfully, because of Ray's poking around by his tip off of Sarah, that the other girl that works with her in the student council. She's tipped Ray of like, you need to figure this out, dude. So he did, and he was able to figure it out. The other thing that was really interesting about this episode too is along with her eyes have been bleeding a lot, and she's been having visions of Ray when he was a child, mainly when he was a child on the battlefield, kind of in the moments where he lost control at some point. And then we got the episode for next week, where it looks like Rebecca might actually be transcending time, which is incredibly interesting as well, too. So either she can see visions of the past, she can transcend time, she can travel through time, but there's something that her eyes allow her to do that makes her incredibly special. So my goal, or my guess, I should say, let me not say goal, let me say guess for next week's episode is that she will time travel somehow, meet Ray, land or give him make an impression on him, and that'll kind of have him save her in the future and be like, oh, you were that girl of the past or whatever, and that's just going to bring them closer to whatever that closeness ends up being, but it'll grant them being closer. So all of that storyline, I think that they are delivering it really well. It's compelling. I think Rebecca and the situation that she's in is compelling. I think it's interesting. I like what's going on with her sister as well, Maria. At some point when she was learning about her sister's engagement, Maria fled, and then that's the moment that she met Ray, the girl version of Ray. So I think how they kind of tied all that in was really interesting as well, too. I really like Maria. Very interested in why she has snow white skin, why she has white hair, red eyes, kind of like a vampire. So definitely want to learn more about that, as her parents don't seem really anything special. So definitely interesting to learn more about that. I'm guessing it's probably something to do with like untapped mana or something that has to do with magic that makes her that way. But I hope that we kind of explore that the last couple of episodes as well before we wrap up the season. And of course, the main thing that I want to touch on before I end, saying this episode was really good, interesting, and compelling, is we have all the maid fetish stuff, all the maid etchy stuff that we got to experience this episode. We got to see Alyssa in her maid outfit, top notch. Amelia, top notch, as well as all the girls of the class in the maid outfit. And it was really funny dealing with Ray complimenting Carla and his teacher. As well, and obviously his teacher really loves Ray, like a lot, so she kind of got a little bit jealous. He called her a gorilla, so that was a whole entire thing as well. So all of that was really funny. So I think overall this is probably one of the better episodes this season so far. Probably top 4 episodes this season, top 3 episodes this season so far. But really, really good. I think they nailed what they were going for this episode, and it's a good thing because I think last episode, kind of like last couple episodes, they've been okay. They've been okay. I really like the fight with Amelia and her friend Arian. I like that fight quite a bit. But then, there's some other ones that's like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? So I think this is one of the better episodes just from a writing standpoint. So let me know what you guys thought of this episode down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next week. Peace out.